And we have Brainy Beats in the house. He's the one that produced Walk On. Let's give a shout out to Brainy Beats. Woo! Hi everybody, so it's another Thursday, 7 p.m. with Reina Speaks. Thank you so much for joining one more time. Today I'm in my African earrings and my headpiece. I hope you like it. And I'm sipping on my mango smoothie. It's just mango and ginger, and it's fruit and it's ginger, and it helps with the immunity. So I hope we are going to have a great day today, and we are going to have a very nice discussion. Thank you for joining me as usual. I cannot believe you like listening to me and I talk. So thank you so much. Every time you join, I'm so honored. I'm so humbled that you're here. We have lots of people. We have Rosemond watching from the US. We have Nanesi watching from New Edibiasi. We have Small watching from Kabase. Rita, I don't know where you're watching from, but welcome. Brainy Beats, thank you for being here. Like I said, he's the one who produced Walk On. And thank you so much for joining. We are going to go straight into it. And remember, it's the Making Me series, and this is part 4. And today, we want to talk about our image. And remember that the aim is that by the time we're done with the Making Me series, you will have become a better version of yourself. I hope you are. I'm learning so much from it. I'm learning to become a better version of myself, and I hope that you can too. Welcome everybody. Let's dig right in. So, most of the time when we talk about image, we're talking about the way we are dressed. I mean, the way I'm dressed, but the way we are dressed. But we realize that the way we are dressed only emanates from the things inside. How we feel on the inside is normally what we portray on the outside. So today I'm feeling colorful and bright and all African, and so I'm dressed like that. Most of the time, how we feel is how we dress. And it's not just about dressing, but how we carry ourselves, how we speak, how we move, whatever we do portrays what is really going on the inside. So for us to have this image that we have here, it means that there's a lot going on the inside. And that's what we want to talk about today. So what is self-image? When we say self-image, what exactly are we talking about? The self-image is how we see ourselves. You know, how we perceive and see ourselves. How we look, when we look at ourselves, what do we see? When we perceive is different. It looks deeper, it digs deeper. What do we see on the inside? Physically, when you look at yourself, what do you see? Emotionally, when you look at yourself, what do you see? Cognitively, when you look at yourself, what do you see? Socially, spiritually, what do you see? What are the characteristics you elude or you see? Those are the things that form an image of you, and that's the image you have of yourself. So when you look at yourself physically, do you see a pretty lady? Do you see a handsome man? Do you see somebody who is too fat? What do you see? When you perceive yourself cognitively, what do you think you are able to think about and bring out? All these are the things, all these characteristics, all the physical, emotional, cognitive, social, and spiritual characteristics are the things that help us to build our self-image. Now, how we perceive ourselves depend on our self-respect. So self-appreciation and self-acceptance. How we perceive, whatever you think is going on is what is going on. However you feel, whatever is going on deep inside you is exactly what's going on. So how do you respect yourself? Ask yourself, do you respect yourself enough to eat well? Do you respect yourself enough to exercise well? Do you respect yourself enough to make sure that you don't put yourself in situations that will cause you disrespect? That's what we mean, you know. So if we truly appreciate ourselves for what we do well, if we embrace our weaknesses without permanently criticizing ourselves, we can live emotionally comfortable and thus increase our tolerance towards others too. So this is what I'm good at. I'm good at talking. I'm not going to let somebody say I talk too much. I'm good at talking. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk. Once I can accept that my strength is talking, when I meet somebody else who likes talking, I can accept it. I don't think that the person is weird, you know. If I'm quieter and I accept myself that, all right, I may be quieter, but it doesn't mean everybody should be as quiet as me, that's fine. It's completely fine. So when you learn to self-respect yourself, as in knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, building on your strengths, improving on your weaknesses, you realize that you are able to tolerate other people more. Now, one must understand that there must be a balance between self-appreciation and self-criticism. You must balance it. Know what you're good at and what you're not good at. And one thing I find interesting is even in the Bible, that if you judge yourself, others don't judge you. You know, if you know that this is my weakness and I'm working on it to improve it, it's easier for people to accept you than we are telling you it's your weakness and you don't want to do anything about it, you know. So let there be a balance. As much as you appreciate the good things you have, let there also be things that you know you need to work on. As much as you know there are things you need to work on, let there be an appreciation of the things you've already worked on and are good at. I mean, by yourself. Sometimes stand in the mirror and tell yourself, wow, I'm phenomenal. I'm great. I cannot believe that I accomplished that. And then sometimes stand in that same mirror and say, look, I need to work on this and I need to work on it now. So that there's a balance. You are not overpraising yourself. You are not over criticizing yourself. Someone who praises himself too much will be in the end ridiculed and abandoned. If every time we hear about, you're talking about yourself, you're like, well, me, I'm the dope thing, I'm the thing. I mean, like, it's me. It's all about me. I mean, it's me. Without me, you can't do this. That without me is that. That when I'm around, the things settle. When, I mean, I don't do wrong. Anything, once I'm in some place, it works. You keep doing that, very soon and we'll get tired and we'll stop talking to you. However, on the other hand, if you also always criticize yourself, I'm not good enough, that this thing you are giving me, I can't do it, we've tried it, it didn't work, I'm not willing to put any effort in it, that also drives people away. So, someone who praises themselves too much or criticizes themselves too much, trying to use it to get feelings of compassion, so that when you say those things, we will sympathize with you more. What you end up doing is driving people away. And while you're driving people away, you find you are also degrading yourself. And so you don't feel good about yourself, or you feel too good about yourself. It's both ways. That's why we're saying that there should be a balance of good and criticism. Now, so maintaining a balance between self-praising and self-criticism is very important for our psyche. It's very, very important. You must have times that you feel you are the in thing. You must have times that you feel that these things need correcting, and there must be a balance of it. All right. So how do I know my self-image is a healthy one? Because we have self-images that are not healthy. Like the one I explained, everything is about me. Everything is about what I can accomplish. I don't see others. I think that I'm the best thing that happened to the world. So how do I know my self-image is healthy? That's easy. We all have an inner voice. If the voice has a pessimistic, negative, and self-critical speech with unfulfilled ambitions toward perfection, means the self-image of that person is a very negative one. All this plenty English I spoke, it simply means if you always downplay yourself and are unwilling to upgrade yourself, you are unwilling to change the things that need to be changed. Every time you feel you are not capable of doing something, you have a negative self-image. If every time you are giving something to do or you set goals for yourself, you end up not accomplishing the goals, you end up not following through with the goals, you end up always sitting down and saying, well, the slightest challenge that comes with the goal, you sit down and say, well, I knew I couldn't do it. That's not a good self-image. It's not healthy at all. It could dampen you. It could make you suicidal. It could take you into depression. That's not a very good one. Now, why is self-image so important? Because it affects our behavior. Like I said from the beginning, whatever is going on the inside is what comes out on the outside. Whatever feelings you have, whatever turmoil, whatever happiness, whatever joy, whatever is going on the inside is what we see manifesting itself on the outside. Now, when we have a positive self-image on ourselves, we have the energy to fulfill our objectives. When you are positive about yourself, you see that you find that you take on more challenges. You are willing to take on more challenges. You don't say I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too ugly, I'm too pretty. You always are willing to try new things. When your self-image is positive, because you have enthusiasm, you have a high spirit, and there's determination. You are like, I can do it. If this person did it, it means I can do it. I'm also capable. I'm also a woman. I'm also a man. I'm also a lady. I'm also a gentleman. So I can do it regardless of what anybody is saying outside me. Because I have a positive image of myself, I am willing to go ahead. And so we see obstacles as challenges which must be exceeded. So we see, when we see a challenge, when you have a positive self-image of yourself and you see an obstacle, you are like, oh, but this one, people have done it. I'm sure I can even do better. You don't get scared and run in the opposite direction. Rather, you get encouraged and you are like, once I can accomplish this, it means I can go ahead and accomplish another thing. This helps maintaining relationships, hitting your aim. You can reach professional performances and social success. So this helps you to maintain relationships because everybody likes a go-getter. Everybody likes somebody who pushes themselves and pushes others as well. And so it helps you when you have a positive self-image, people like to be around you. they are encouraged in your presence. They are like, you go and be with Ajwa. Just after being with Ajwa for 2 seconds, you see that you really have the energy to go ahead. She has so much energy. She has so much drive. So it helps to have a positive self-image of yourself that also throws light on other people and helps them to come up. Now, a negative self-image lowers or even neutralizes the motivation due to the lack of self-assurance. When you have a negative self-image, you are not sure you are capable of anything. And so what happens is you try and keep you try and keep whatever you are doing small. You don't want to blow it up because you are afraid to fail. Even before it starts, you are afraid to fail. So you try and keep it small. You try and keep it within a circle that you think you can control. And you don't go beyond that. You see, what's the point in trying are some of the questions you ask. I've tried so many times and it didn't work. I'm not good enough. So this leads to the so-called avoiding behavior. A lot of people avoid a lot of things because they feel they are not good enough to be in that place. So I'm not going to the interview because I'm not good enough. So what's the point? You see, I'm not going to try and learn a skill. I'm not good enough. What's the point? I'm not even going to go and try and propose to that girl because look at me and look at her. What's the point? I'm not going to even try and think that guy is going to think about me because look at me, look at him. What's the point? When you have a negative self-image of yourself, most of the times you think that everything is too good for you. All right? Now, also, a negative self-image creates a vicious circle wherefrom it's very hard to get out. The person doesn't do certain things because he or she is convinced they are not capable. When we say a vicious cycle, it means a cycle that goes on and on. It's vicious because it's not right. It's vicious because it causes more negative than positive. So a vicious cycle where you get to the point of, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to fail again. I don't want to be challenged again. Therefore, I am not even going to try again. So it just keeps going on. If it's books, you'll be like, okay, I wrote this exam, I failed, so I am not going to write it again. Now, you would think that it would just be books, but then you transfer it onto, all right, you try a relationship, it fails, you're like, okay, seriously, I'm not doing this anymore. My heart has had enough. You try a business, it doesn't work, you're like, nope. I said from the beginning that I couldn't do it, and I forced myself to do it, and it didn't work, so I'm no longer doing it. It's a vicious cycle, and it affects every aspect of your life. All right. The lack of action leads to self-blaming and self-criticism, thus cementing the negative beliefs about themselves. So the more you don't take any action, you see, action is what makes you, hi Janet, action is what makes you move. Now, if I decide that I want to start a business and say I have very big dreams about the business, when I look at my small pockets, I'll be like, hey, these my dreams, they are bigger than what I can achieve. But you realize that as you take action, what are some of the actions you can take for a big business that you cannot afford now? You can sit down and write down what your business plan is. You can sit down and write down how you expect your business to be in the next 10 years. You can sit down and decide how many employees you intend to have, what your buildings can look like. Now, because you keep taking action, because you're writing these things down, because you're going ahead with them, what happens is that ideas begin to form. You see that sometimes you may not even start the exact business at once. You delve into other little businesses, and then they give you the capital or the startup to start the main one that you started from the beginning. But then because you took action, you know, sometimes you say, okay, I want to start a school. How do I start a school? I'll need a big building, plenty teachers. Well, that's a lot. I don't have that kind of money. But as you begin to write, I want to start a school, I want to do it this way, I want this to be involved, you realize, oh, well, I could do a few home classes. And as I do the home classes, I begin to gain confidence on how to teach. I gain confidence on the things I shouldn't do when I'm teaching. I gain more experience. So one day, all that knowledge I have can be put together and be turned into a school. It can actually work. Than sitting down and say, well, I know I can't do this, so I'm not even going to try and do it. All right. Now, when you believe in yourself, it's easier to achieve goals because trusting yourself energizes the very resources you need in order to overcome the obstacles you are obstacles, and so you are heading where you want. Whereas when you don't trust yourself, you communicate, you communicate, negotiate harder, and act with fear, and so you throw sand into your wheels and you kill all the resources you need in order to do anything. Sometimes we have killed our dreams because we've been so negative that when opportunities even came, we didn't see it. Like we ask you, oh, I think that you have potential to be the manager of this small shop that I have. Come and manage it for me. I won't come there. Just be there, look after the money, look after everything. When you need something, tell it to me. You're like, me? No. I've never managed anything before. I don't think I'm capable of managing it. Please, I beg you. I don't want money to get missing. And they'll come and ask me that who took the money. I beg. Anything but managing a place is totally out of... No, I cannot manage. That's how you just threw opportunity out the window because you did not have enough trust in yourself to manage a small shop. Sometimes it's even seen at workplaces. You went there as a worker, and then little by little, you see that they are adding on things. For example, I used to teach in a school, and I used to teach KG2, that's kindergarten 2. And then later on, I was told that, oh, they need a media teacher, and they need, I think I was teaching media and history. They need a media and history teacher for a class 7 class, which would be JHS1. And I was like, hey, how do you combine KG2? KG2, you teach all the subjects. How do you combine that with media in grade 7? And I was like, wow. But then I decided, okay, let me take on the challenge. Let me just start. If I'm unable to do it, then I can go back and say I'm unable to do it. I think, is he called Richard Branson? I've forgotten the name. The Virgin Airline owner. He says that when you are offered something, even when you can't do it, accept it and learn how to do it later on. I had never taught media before. In fact, I didn't know media was a subject. Say international school, and they tell us all kinds of subjects. I had never ever taught media. I did not know it existed. As for history, I had taught history, I had learned history, so that was fine. But then I went on the net and found out, oh, so this is what media is about. You're just teaching them this. And it worked. It worked perfectly. So don't believe in yourself. Realize you are able to do it. You can achieve the goals. You just need to set your mind on it. And you will do it. So when they give you something to do, the first thing that comes into your head should not be, no, I can't do this. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm incapable. I don't want to do it and fail and put myself in trouble. So I am not going to try it. Also, one of the things you need to develop a positive self-image is give yourself challenges. Give yourself challenges. Every year, I give myself things I must accomplish. By the end of the year, this should have been done. And I have a system where if I don't do those things, I punish myself. When I say punish, I mean I deprive myself because I tell myself, okay, by the end of this year, I'm supposed to do this much, accomplish this much, that can give me this much. So if at the end of the year, I have not accomplished this much to give me this much, I don't qualify for any of those things. I don't. I remember the first time I had never been for a massage. Go to a spa and sit yourself down and get yourself a massage, a pedicure, a manicure. That day is you. I'd never done it before. And I decided 2 years ago that, okay, what is all this work for? I've got to get myself a spa treatment, but it costs a leg and a foot. So is it an arm and a leg or a leg and a foot? So it costs something, it is going to cost something. So I decided that I'm going to work this hard. I also do makeup. So I decided I'm going to make sure this year I get a lot of makeup people, and I will use some of the profits to be able to get myself a spa treatment. Spa treatment happened, which means I worked hard. If I hadn't worked hard, spa treatment not going to happen. In spite of the fact that I could afford it, no. If I don't learn to punish myself, if I don't learn to put myself in a position where I deserve what I get, I won't keep pushing myself up, further and further. So, trust yourself. You can do it. You are capable of doing it. All the people who have done it, some are just like you, some are not like you, and yet they were able to do it. It was human beings that built the plane, human beings that brought electricity, human beings that developed the mobile phone we use, human beings that made the blender I used to make my mango smoothie. Do excuse me, thank you. As I was saying, human beings that made the blender that made my mango smoothie. Why are you different? God has put an ability in all of us. I'm telling you, every single one of us has the ability. God says he made us in his image. He says we were created in his image. So if you were created in the image of God, your self-image has got to be big. Look at what God did. He created you. Look at what God did. He created the world. Look at the different kind of species of animals we have everywhere. It means you have the power of creativity. Let there be light. And there was light. And then when he made the animals, he didn't name them. He put Adam in the garden and he said, name them. So Adam was the one who thought of the names. He said, this one is an elephant. This one is a tiger. This one is a snake. This one is a centipede. This one is a fly. This one is a mosquito. Man named the animals, not God. It means that God had put his creative ability, his image in us. Look at the big God we make. Look at when you even look at the planets, even the earth that, yesterday I watched, I don't know how many of you have seen it on Facebook, but some of the astronauts in space have taken a video of the earth from space. And all you see on the earth are little lights. I mean, lights from the cities, light from our houses, all those things. You see lights. And I was just sitting there wondering, so how come we don't all just fall off? Because this thing just keeps going round like that. What is keeping us glued to the ground? I mean, we are in space. We should just all fall off. And that is the kind of God we have. The ability to think about gravity. That I'm putting these people on a round planet. No, I don't know why he chose a round planet. Please don't ask me that question. Yes. The ability to think that I'm putting all these people on a round planet that is going to be rotating on its axis, and I need to give them gravity so they don't fall off. You have the image of that person and you think you are not able. I'm telling you, you are more capable of the things you never thought you could do. So go out there and make us proud. Make me proud. Let me know that we have great people. Let the world know we have great people. That little idea sparking in your mind that looks like, oh, this one nobody will want to do. Nobody will want. I mean, whoever thought that the hair ties we've been tying can now just be. I mean, this is just, I just put it on. Just took it as, first you have to tie, when you finish, find something to put there and all that. Now it's just put on like that. Look at the earrings. At first, we prefer to have things from abroad, and now we have all kinds of people making beads, and Barbara here makes beads, very beautiful beads, and we can do so many things. So many things. And please, don't think that all I know how to do is beads. So I'm going to stick to beads. I'm a teacher. I don't want to go any further than that. No. I know a nurse who makes cakes. If you eat her cake, I'm telling you, my sisters and brothers, you will chew your fingers and not know that you have chewed your fingers. She's a nurse. So God, we have the image of God, and we can do whatever we want to. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things. Say after me, I can do all things. I can do all things. Say it so many times to yourself that You prep yourself up. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do anything. Just set your mind to it and you can do it. All right. So, our self-image contributes to the reality of evaluation. When you have a good self-image, you say, I can do this, or I can at least try to. When you have a negative self-image, you say, I can't do this, it's too difficult. So immediately we give you something to do. You look at the thing and like, what about Adjoa? Adjoa can do it better. Adjoa can do it better. No, Adjoa cannot do it better. We want you, Ekia, to do it. Because we know that you can do it. You can do it. Tommy, you are here. Let me share Tommy's story. It is a story of I can do all things. Tommy, do I have permission to share your story? Do I have permission to share your story, Tommy? Tell me if I have permission to share your story. You see, Tommy came to Ghana with her husband. They are Nigerians. And she came. The husband was working with a company. She needed something to do as well. She tried all kinds of things. She ended up working with a bridal shop. Thank you, Tommy, for the permission. She ended up working with a bridal shop. And you'll be shocked, as she was there, the owner of the bridal shop said, let me show you how to make bouquets. Let me show you how to make boutonnieres, the ones that the men put on their coat during the wedding. And she said, why not? Apparently, she already wanted to do those things. She had that in her mind for a long period, you see. But she had been to do other things. Like I told you in the beginning, you may do other things before it leads you into what you actually want to do. So she started making the bouquets. She started helping out with the boutonnieres. And before we could say Jack Benembo, she was very good. She realized she was good. And her passion was ignited because that's all she's ever wanted to ever do anyway. She continued to do them, but you see, it was not totally hers. You are in somebody's shop. You get me? Yes. Then they had to leave and go back to Nigeria. Tommy is now one of the best in Nigeria when it comes to boutonnieres and bouquets. Some of the bouquets she's making, her madam cannot make them. It all started with, let me just find to do something around me. And when I was given something to do, I forced myself to do it. Positive self-image. She knew she could do it. She took it and ran with it. She does classes now. She teaches people how to do it. And she herself makes it. I saw a bouquet she had made out. The thing looked like they had just cut it out from a magazine and given it to the bride to hold, you know. And she said, no, she made it. And I know she made it. But because she was willing, they gave her something to do. She did not slack. She did not say, I can't do it. She took it and she ran with it. The big difference between the two perceptions, I mean the positive and the negative, is that the person with the positive one is willing to prove themselves that he can or cannot do that thing. The person with negative perception will just stick to his vicious cycle we described above, confirming his negative beliefs. People who have a positive self-image are not afraid to fail. They are not afraid that it's possible that I am trying this. It's possible that I will not be able to do it. But if I'm not able to do it and I fail, I'll just get up and do it again. People with a positive self-image do not have a problem failing or not being able to do things. People with a negative self-image don't want to go there at all because they already have a negative self-image. They don't want to go and do something and fail. And then now we have more negativity there. You see, we have one of Tommy's students here. She says, I'm a student of Tommy, a good trainer she is, you see. So when the difference is only that I am afraid, I'm okay going to try and fail. One with a negative self-image is not is not okay with failing. If you are not okay with failing, you are not okay with getting to the point where you realize, okay, this could have been done better. The next time I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it better. You have a negative self-image. If you are somebody who doesn't want to try anything at all, you have a negative self-image. If you are somebody who starts something and then comes up against the challenge and immediately stops, you have a negative self-image. If you are somebody who does not like to be scolded, you don't like to be corrected, you don't like to be put in the right place, you have a negative self-image. Anybody who has a positive self-image knows that they cannot do everything. They need guidance sometimes, and yet they are willing to push themselves out there to fail, to win, to lose, whatever, as far as they have tried it. All right. Now, as I always say, don't forget, you can put up your questions if you have any, or contributions if you have any, while we are here, so that as time goes on, I'll read through the comments as well, and if there are any questions, we'll answer them as well. All right. Why what other people believe counts. That's what other people believe about you. Why it counts. It says that although our self-image is the reflection in our own conscience, so it has internal factors, the self-image is often backed up or sabotaged by external factors, which is why you must know who you work with. You must decide who you are friends with, and you must make sure your circle are people who are willing to see you win. Because no matter what good self-image you have, no matter how positive you are, if you surround yourself with negative people, it's easy for them to make you think negatively. It's easy for them to make you think that you are not worth your salt. It's easy for them to make you feel that you don't qualify to do the things you said that you would do. So what other people believe counts and is important. So make sure that you have the people who believe in you around you. So the question should be, for who does other people's opinion count? The answer is easy. Other people's opinions count for those who don't have a positive self-image. When you don't have about themselves and constantly need to relate to the exterior. Now, even though I have said that you must surround yourself with the people who are encouraging, your circle must be people who love you and encourage you. The other thing you must know is, if you do not have a circle that encourage you and push you, and all you hear is negativity, you must fight to build your own positive self-image that is not affected by the negativity around you. Now, let me give you a very, very good example. Okay. My father was born in a very, very, in a village. Let me put it that way. He told us a story quite a number of times. He was born in a village. He ended up being a professor. How did that work? And there are people in that village who ended up going nowhere. How does that work? You need to have a positive self-image of yourself. I was brought up in a compound house, and in the compound house, the only thing we do there is that you must have children with a man before he marries you. Why must you follow that? Why don't you want to be the one that is the first one that has a proper wedding? A proper wedding, or a proper marriage, let me say it that way. Marriage ceremony, where the man and his people come and take you away from your house. Why do you want to follow the norm? Have a positive self-image. Yes, and the negativity that will come from that is that they will tell you that, we all went to give birth before they married us. You better just follow. No, don't follow. If you have a positive image of yourself, you have value. You put value on yourself. The same for the men. You may choose a woman and they may say, hey, brother, we are all in this small neighborhood. Look at the woman you've gone to bring. Do you think it will work? Me, I think that this one, no, it won't work. So in Ghana, we say find somebody who is your level and associate with that person. No, don't find somebody who is your level. Find somebody who is above your level, who push you up, who pull you up, who say, let's go. You see? So don't settle for, don't settle for the negativity. You see, everybody in your house, after SHS, they decided to do business. Why do you also want to do business? Why don't you want to be a professor who does business? Because we have professors who do business. You can combine the two. As for these days, you can do 10 things at the same time. So people who are bothered by what people say are people who have a negative image of themselves. If you find out that you are always bothered, you dress so that people will see you, the way you carry yourself is so that people will see you, it is because you have a negative image of yourself. And so you are completely concerned about what people think about you. If you have a positive image of yourself, you are not too concerned about what people say about you. The only people you'll be concerned about are the people who are willing to push you up and the people who are really encouraging you to be a better version of yourself. All right. Now it says that those who are so interested in what people feel about them, what happens is that they feel good when they get success, because people say, oh, you've done well. Oh, wow, what's it you who did that? Charlie, it's not easy. But once the praises stop, those people stop feeling good about themselves. Once the praises stop, they are unable to continue what they were doing because they were doing it for the praises. So while the praises last, they feel good about themselves. They are willing to do more. Once the praises stop, they are unwilling to go ahead. Now, and I asked on the write-up I did for this week was that, how does my dressing affect me? And you realize, like I said in the beginning, people dress how they feel on the inside. People dress how they feel on the inside. If you find somebody who must always at every time have makeup on, I'm talking of a woman, I'll talk about the men, she cannot step out without makeup at all. In fact, there's not a day the person has come out without makeup. It's a negative self-image that is making it happen that way. She feels she looks much better with makeup. She feels she's accepted when she has makeup on. She feels she fits in when she has makeup on, and therefore she makes sure she always has makeup on. You will never find her outside without makeup. If you have a man who must always look meticulous, every time he must look meticulous, you do not find him in a day where today I'm just feeling like wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and I'm walking around, but he's always looking meticulous. It's a low self-esteem, a negative self-image that makes you think that by looking good on the outside, you will look good on the inside. But it's the other way around. What happens on the inside is what is portrayed on the outside. If you already think you are pretty, you already think you are handsome, you will not really need all those physical things to buttress what you think. Yes, they are important, but they are not as important as every single time, every single day. You see, if you find people who only go within certain circles, they associate themselves with only certain people. They are always saying, oh, me, I know the president. Me, I know this person. Me, I know that person. I know this big man in town. He is my uncle's father's friend's sister's son. People who must always associate with big people have a negative self-esteem about themselves. And so they think by associating with these big people, I will also be known, or I will have a positive self-image. You know, when you see me walking with the president, you will respect me. What do you think? So it will make me feel good. But like I said, you feel good for just a period. After the president has left and you are left on your own again, you just go back to being the normal you. If you have people who must use only certain kinds of products, eat from certain kinds of restaurants, all those things are not because they have a certain class or they are a certain kind of people. No. Our ex-president Rawlings was the whole president of Ghana. Yet he used to get into gutters and help people and all that. Most of our politicians these days just wait until it's getting near to elections. Then they go around trying to do those things. But that is a person who had such a high positive self-image that he did not think that getting into a gutter for 1 hour would change what he looked like or how he felt or what he represented. So anybody that must always associate with things that they think has value is because they don't value themselves. Anybody who cannot be in a startup has a low self-image. Anybody who cannot work in a company that is now starting and always wants to work with companies that are already set up and have everything working for them, you may say that, oh no, it's because of my qualification. It is not true. If you really are valuable, wherever you are put, you'll be valuable. Wherever you are put, your positive self-image will exude itself wherever you are put, small or big. In fact, there's a story in the Bible, I think, about Jacob. The Bible says that when he was with Laban, his uncle realized that he was being blessed. And he realized that this guy was in love with my younger daughter, Rachel. And he said, hey, if he marries Rachel and disappears, all this blessing coming will disappear. So he tricked him. He let him marry Leah. He worked for 7 years and he got Leah. And man said, okay, Charlie, if the guy stays a bit more, it can work. So then he said, well, Leah is the first. There's no way you could have married the younger without the older. So marry that one. He loved Rachel, so he worked for another 7 years. Jacob, who was a boss in his father's house, went to work for a woman and got tricked and still continued because the man knew that he was being blessed. Joseph was in prison when he started blessing the palace. He was not in the palace when he started blessing the palace. He was in prison when he started blessing the palace. So if all the time you must be associated with big things, big people, before you feel you have some worth, it is because you have a negative self-image and you must work on it. You must work to the point where you accept yourself how you are. You must work on, you see, sometimes even the friends you choose show us the kind of image you have about yourself. Your friends are not thinking of doing anything big. Your friends are not thinking of accomplishing anything big. And when you get associated with people who want to push you to do things, those friends tell you that this one is too hard. This one, she's too some way. She thinks she's big. No. Anybody who has a positive self-image of themselves has drive. And so when you are with those people, they drive you to become the best versions of yourself. They don't sugarcoat things and play around things. No. They know that there's no time. And the time is now. So let's move. Let's push. Let's do this. We can do it. All right. So make sure that you are not trying to associate with people. You are not dressing in a certain way because you want to be accepted. If you have drive and passion, no matter how you dress, you will be seen. Speaking on dressing, what you portray on the outside is the first thing we get to see about you. And so you must be careful how you dress. Isudanaba says, dress how you want to be addressed. Dress how you want to be addressed. So how you want to be addressed is how you come out. If you're a lady and every time your thighs are showing, your breasts are showing, there is nothing hidden about you. Please don't get confused. This feminist movement is getting a lot of us confused. That I'm a woman, I'm phenomenal, so it means I should show my breast, I should show my buttocks. No. Feminism has nothing to do with being overly sexy. It has nothing to do with that. If you look at all the rich women, all the powerful women in the world, one mark that sets them apart is decent dressing. You realize that when they are very high up, there are certain things we don't expect you to do. There are certain dresses we don't expect to see you wear. The same for the men. If you every day you have, it's called, I think, autofista, and you are walking around. Every day your shorts is dirty, your shirt is dirty. It's like you don't have any, you don't dress well. It doesn't work. Lauren, I'm going there. I'm going there, crying. When we talk about the way you dress, you're upset. No, I'm me. This is me. No, you are not you. You are giving us the wrong image about who you are. You can be a very, very good human resource manager. You can be a very, very good teacher. You can be a very, very good something. But the first day I meet you and they introduce me to you, I'm like, You said you were going to introduce me to your child's teacher. Has he or she not yet come? Because when we look at the dressing there, it does not match with what we are expecting somebody with a positive self-image to do. If you have a positive self-image, your breasts don't need to precede you for us to like you. If a man is liking you only because of the size of your breasts, then you don't have a positive self-image. If a woman is crushing on you only because of the size of your muscles and not what is in your brain, it is because it is a lack of positive self-image. So let's get to the point where we are so positive about ourselves that when we dress, we are not trying to attract people to the things that we think are looking good on us. So I may not have a pretty face. I have very nice legs. So I always wear short things so that when people see me, they don't look at my face first. They look at my legs and think, wow, beautiful legs. I'm drawing their attention to my legs before my face, because for me, my face is not good enough. LP and Net, welcome. Do you see? Some people too will expose their breasts because their breasts look better. Some men will expose their muscles because they are well built. So before you think about anything like my muscles, let's get to know my muscles before you get to know me. Get to know my breasts before you get to know me. Get to know my bum before you get to know me. Hoping that in getting to know your muscles or your breast, as I get to know it better, I will get to like you better. No, that's actually not how self-image works. Self-image is when you have worked on yourself, knowing you can fail, you can succeed. You can pass, you can fail. You can be big, you can be small, and still remain you. Self-image is, you know that not everybody will like you, and that's fine. Positive self-image is knowing that my nose is quite big, but it hasn't stopped me from becoming who I want to become. Self-image is knowing that I can be in a group of people and nobody will notice me, and I'm cool. Self-image is knowing that I don't know President Kufuor. President Nana, forgive me. I'm still in the 90s. I don't know big people. I know God. And I'm cool. Positive self-image is knowing that I was made in the image of God. And because I was made in the image of God, it doesn't get more positive than that. It does not, I'm telling you, it does not get more positive than being made in the image of the creator of the universe. It doesn't get more positive than that. So positive self-image is knowing that I'm capable. I can do it. I may fail, but I'm not going to stop. I may get tired, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to cry some of the times, but I'm still going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to feel like giving up, but feeling is not doing. Because I felt like giving up does not mean I'm going to give up. Positive self-image is dressing in a way that when people see me, they will talk to me with respect because of my outlook. When people see me, the way they perceive me will be because of the way I spoke to them. The way I appeared to them and spoke to them makes them have a way of relating to me. I used to tell my staff that, you see, the way you are dressed, if I'm a parent and I walk in here, because of the way you are dressed, I'll talk to you now. Your uniform is faded. When I say faded, I'm not talking of simple fade. A fade is faded. Your hair is your pony is pony, but we are not sure the particular kind of pony you have on. So when I get there as a parent, you realize that, oh, but somebody whose uniform is faded like this, I can't talk to the person anyhow. At a point, I told my staff that wear high heel to school. You see, when you're even in high heel, the way you walk is different. Have you noticed that when you wear a high heel, the way you walk is different? When you wear the men, when they wear a brand new pair of shoes, the way they walk is different. I'll be that there's dry pony. Helping analysis says dry pony, no pomade, nothing, just pony. So that when the wind blows a bit, it's standing in all kinds of directions. So that when we see you and we approach you and we're speaking to you, it's quite different. We can feel that we are talking to somebody. So today, what am I here to tell you? I'm here to tell you one thing. You can do it. You can make it. You've done it already. Believe in yourself. Believe you are capable. Keep repeating to yourself, like I said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All things. Everything you set your mind to do, you can do it. Have a positive self-image of yourself. Encourage yourself. There was a time that David he will go into battle, he won't win, he will go into battle. He was like, hey, why? And there was nobody to encourage him. The Bible says, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. He said, but me too, why? Is it not God who sent me? Is it not God who put me on the planet? Why am I worried? If I have lost that battle, it is simply because God didn't intend for me to win that battle. Why am I worried? The glory will come to God. So if he is okay with the fact that I didn't win the battle, me that I'm just a messenger, what is my problem? He encouraged himself in the Lord. He said, when God wants me to win, I will win. Until then, the battles, I will not stop. So every one of us listening today, you're a great person. You are a great person. You are the next CEO of that big company. You are the next president of Ghana. You are the next minister of information. You are the next UN Secretary General. Who thought that a UN Secretary General could come from Ghana? And yet we have had a UN Secretary General from Ghana. We are waiting for the next UN Secretary General. And I believe that I'm talking to somebody here who is going to be the next UN Secretary General. Please don't forget REINASPEAKS when you get there. I believe that the person who is the next UN Secretary General is listening to me today. I believe that the next president of Ghana is listening to me today. I believe that the next Nelson Mandela is listening to me today. The next Oprah Winfrey is listening to me today. I believe it and I feel it in my spirit. They are here today. So have a positive self-image of yourself. And remember that it is human beings who will fail. But when they fail, they will rise up again. When you fall, get up and walk on. When you get to a point where you are confused, walk on. There is light at the end of the tunnel. God is waiting for you and says, I knew you could make it. I knew you could get there. Only when Jesus died on the cross did he get the name above all names. At the name which all people bow. If you want to have that kind of name, face the challenges. But he never gave up. Look at the negativity that surrounded Jesus. You say you are the son of God. Are you not the Joseph the carpenter's son? Or it's not you? Your sister, is she not called Mary? And do you not have a brother called John? And you say you are who? God. Hey, if you ask us to say it, the mad people, they have become plenty. At a point, he was called Beelzebub. They said, is he not a demon? How can demon... The way he's acting is not normal. Human beings cannot act like that. But at the end of it, when he's stuck with his vision, he has the name above all names. That name, Jesus, when you mention it, everybody disappears. Good and bad. They are all bound. So believe you can do it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Dress well. Dress decently. Learn how to talk. Learn how to encourage yourself. Learn how to do things and set challenges for yourself. Learn how to set goals for yourself. You'll be surprised. Immediately you set the goal, then something comes to try and spoil the goal. Tell yourself that no matter what, this goal, I am achieving it. With the image that God has given me, I will achieve it. You want to marry the next president of Ghana? Who told you you cannot? You can. Why? You don't. You can't be a first lady. You can be a first lady. Cry. You want to drive a Lexus? You can. You are capable of driving a Lexus. Why? The people driving Lexus, is there a special something about them? No. You are one of them. You want to build a business that, like Coca-Cola, like Pepsodent, like Close Up, like Unilever, that stands the test of time. You can do it. The person who did it was just like you. Human being with blood running through them. Just like you. You want to be a role model. One that people can look up to. It is done. It is done. All those people are just like you. They are just like you. So have a positive self-image of yourself. And remember that every time you have a positive, remember that I am made in these two things. If you do not remember anything that you heard here today, remember these two things. Tell yourself every morning, I was made in the image of God, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Hallelujah. So, if you have any questions, let's go ahead. Any questions, let's go ahead. Any contributions, let's go ahead. Yes, Philip. I don't know big people, but I know God. Yes. Lorraine, feeling is not doing. Yes, feeling is not doing. Yes, LP Nanesi, I am capable. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Jeremiah, yes, I am a great person. Yes, you are. You are a great person. Philip, I'll walk on no matter how tough the tougher the road, the sweeter the victory. The tougher the road, the sweeter the victory. You see, when you get to the end and all things, he says, all things work together for the good of them, those who love him. You see that when you get to the end of the road, and you are like, oh my God. And I'll get why I had to fall in that ditch. I fell in that ditch and broke my leg so that I could go to the hospital. And while I was in the hospital, that big man came to visit his daughter, who saw me. The daughter was lying next to me, so we became friends. And that's how I got my first contract. You see, you thought that the breaking of leg was bad. But you see where it got you. Where would you have gone to meet that big man except in a hospital? So no matter how tough the road gets, walk on. You're made in the image of God. We have just 2 more minutes, people, while I sip on my mango ginger smoothie made with mango and ginger. Fortes claim me the headpiece no I hear. I will email it to you. In Calvary, I will send it to you, crap. Lorraine, every problem is an opportunity. Preach it. Every problem is an opportunity. One day I will just come on and tell you my life challenges, all the challenges I have faced, and how I'm still here by the grace of God. And you'll be shocked. Beautiful people, I'm telling you, it's been great. It's been great having you on this show one more time. I am honored and humbled every single time because you listen to me. Nanecha KNT, thank you very much. Thank you about my headpiece. Thank you. All right. So thank you so much. I'm so blessed that you came. I'm humbled that you came. It's been another session of Reina Speaks, the Making Me series. God willing, next week, we will be handling the final part of the Making Me series. Don't miss it for all the rice in China. Invite more people and let's get more people to join. I would like you to tell me in the comment section whether we should keep it on Thursday or we should move it to another day where we are likely to have more people join us. And also, don't forget to subscribe to Reina Speaks on YouTube and Reina Big on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. And don't forget that you are great, you can do it, and build a positive self-image of yourself. God bless you, and let's keep working on. Bye.